So I ran into a situation on Saturday night when I was out doing food delivery. I had a stacked order. It was from a Papa John's. I had 2 orders to pick up from Papa John's for DoorDash. I went to the restaurant, I picked up the orders, and when I got to the first customer, the customer was not available. So I want to talk to you today about what you should do if you run into a situation where you get to that customer and you cannot find the customer and you've done the timer and it's run down. What do you do in this situation because you're stuck with food? And I want to tell you how you're going to handle it. My name is John McFall, and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel, where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery. In today's video, I want to talk to you about my situation on Saturday night. As I said, I went to Papa John's. I picked up 2 orders for DoorDash. When I got to the first customer, I knocked on the door and I rang the doorbell, and the customer just wasn't available. The specific order that I got on this first one, it was actually somebody else that had ordered the order for this particular person. So it was actually what DoorDash considers a gift, and I was taking it to this person so that they could get the order that somebody ordered for them. So what happened and what did I do in this situation? So when I got to this person's house, I did as I normally do. It was a hand it to me order, and I went up to the door and I knocked on it and I pushed the doorbell and I waited about a minute and the person never came to the door. The lights were off in the house. I could tell that really nobody was probably there, or they were probably in bed sleeping, because the house just looked like it was, off for the night. It was about 11 o'clock at night. So when I realized that the person wasn't coming to the door, the next thing I did is hit the button on DoorDash that said I cannot hand it to the customer. And this started the 5-minute timer. If you're on DoorDash and you can't find the customer, DoorDash makes you wait for 5 minutes because they want to make sure that maybe somebody fell asleep on the couch, or maybe they just didn't hear you. So they give you a 5-minute timer that you have to wait until that timer is over before you can move on to the next thing. When the timer started, there was a thing on the app that said return the order to the store if the customer is not available. So I waited for the timer to run out, and what happened on the app was, instead of having me return that order to the store, and I do want to say one caveat here, that it did say that I would be paid to return it to the store, but rather than the return coming up on the app, it had me go deliver the second order. So I went and delivered the second order, thought to myself maybe it was going to wait until I got that food delivered before it asked me to return the first order back to the store. So when I got to the house and I dropped off that second order, I waited for the app to tell me, now take this order back to the store. But that never happened. It went back to my normal acceptance screen and it started sending me orders again, and I accepted an order. I still had this first order, so what did I do? While I was on the way for my next delivery, I actually called DoorDash support and I talked to a support agent. And when I got him on the phone, I explained the situation. I said I tried to deliver this first order. Nobody ever answered the door. I let the timer run completely out for the 5 minutes that I was required to wait. And then the app had me go deliver the second order, and it did not ask me to return it to the store. So what do I do with this order? And when I talked to the support agent said that there was really nothing else I needed to do, and it typically happens that you have to return orders on DoorDash when they are orders like alcohol orders, and evidently the app was glitching and it didn't have me take the order back. The guy was really concerned to make sure I got the pay for it. I told him that it appeared that I did, because when I got done with the second delivery, deliver, it told me you got this total for this stacked order, and it looked like it went onto my account. But the support agent said you can return it to the store, but the order is going to be, not really good anymore because it's going to be too old. So you can do whatever you want with it. So if you run into a situation where you go to drop off an order and the customer is not available and you've let the timer run out, I always make sure that I call support and tell them what the whole situation is and ask them to advise me on what I am supposed to do. And I do this because it covers me when it comes to orders, because if you don't do this and they expect that the order was supposed to be returned and you don't return it, you might possibly find yourself getting an email or a phone call from the platform. So always, if you run into this situation where the customer is not available and you still have the order, make sure that you get on the phone with support, talk to them about the situation, and ask them what you are supposed to do. And as you're talking to them, they are typing everything into the computer, so it documents that you called them, it documents what the situation was, and it documents what the outcome is that the support agent told you. So at the end of the day, when this all got done and resolved, I ended up getting a pizza and an order of cheese bread for myself and had a nice little dinner that night. Always remember that if you're in any situation out here doing food delivery and you are not sure what to do, always get somebody on the phone that works in the support for the platform that you're working on, so that you get the answer and you get the advice on how to handle the situation directly from the company. This takes any liability off of you for whatever that outcome might be, and it allows you to protect yourself in these situations, so you're not making a choice that's not right for that particular situation. So I hope I taught you a lot today. Want to remind you that down here in my description, I always have some great tools for you. The one I want to talk to you about is my metric spreadsheet. If you want to know how well you're doing when you're out here doing food delivery overall, it starts by keeping track of your numbers. If you keep track of your numbers, this will also allow you to know exactly where you need to improve. And I'm going to throw it up here on the screen so you guys can check it out. If you look at the left-hand side, you'll see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles. If you head to the right, then you'll see for each individual app, I put the dollars that I made, the time that I worked, along with the number of deliveries. Head to the bottom and you'll see it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, and your average per order. To get better at doing food delivery, it starts by knowing where you are, so you have a good foundation and a starting point. So go down into my description, go grab this metric spreadsheet for yourself if you want to see where you are and see where you need to improve. I'd also like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. Finally, I want to say I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.